Creepypastas are typically terrifying legends or images that have circulated their way around the internet. They're the modern-day scary campfire stories told on a much larger, more accessible platform, which makes them pretty creepy. Whether or not they're rooted in fact or fiction is entirely up to you. These days, it seems like any big part of pop culture has their own set of creepypastas, including video game sensations the likes of Fortnite. So today, we are taking a look at the top 10 creepypastas that have popped up concerning the game, with our list of the top 10 scary Fortnite creepypastas. And warning, some of these are just flat out kinda crap. When do you expect they're creepypastas? And at number 10, Followed. From YouTube channel FlipLaScript, Followed is a story about a gamer who used Fortnite to help with his mental health, since he got into an accident and almost died. He keeps seeing a rabbit with a ski mask who keeps paying him a visit whenever he plays the game. The rabbit talks to him and tells him that he will never cheat death again because of the accident. He thinks that his mother keeps letting the bunny man in, but she tells him that he's just seeing things. So one Friday night he plays a solo match and notices that everyone in the pregame lobby has the same default blonde guy skin. He ignores it, thinking he's in a server with a bunch of noobs. The match begins, he lands at Tilted Towers, and apparently so does everybody else on the server. Also weird. He grabs a loot chest and scores a scar, and then starts taking out foes. He begins to suspect that they're all bots. Their names are Default Fortnite Player with the number. Every time he gets a kill, another player named Frank also gets a kill, the only one without the default name. Finally, it gets down to just him and Frank, and that's when the player realizes who Frank is. It's the Bunny Man, but in the game. He tries to take Frank out, and that's when he hears the demonic voice say, "I dare you to kill me." He keeps missing Frank and is soon out of ammo. Before he can switch weapons though, Frank appears in person and says out loud, "I dare you to kill me." The player then dies of a heart attack. And at number 9, The Bus Driver. Another creepypasta from FlipLaScript, this one is called The Bus Driver, and is about a scary Easter egg. The player in this story heard a rumor on Reddit about the battle bus, an Easter egg that you can only see on Friday the 13th. In order to see it at the start of a match, on that date, don't get out of the battle bus. Stay until you're about to get kicked off, then unplug your router. Plug it back in and do not find a new game to join, and you'll be still on the bus. So the player's like, yeah, I'm gonna give it a go. And it works. Except it's not what they expected. The bus doesn't go over the map, but rather it goes through a passage of time. Events throughout history play on the screen in front of him. Then he sees the future. He sees World War III break out, there's a nuclear fallout, and he sees his family members die. Time flashes forward again, and he sees himself trying to survive with other war survivors. A missile drops down from the sky and kills him. He's then kicked off the bus, and is pretty traumatized. And at number 8, Disappearing Teddy. The disappearing teddies are nothing new in Fortnite. They've freaked out a lot of people in the past, but generally they're kinda cool. But this creepypasta makes them a little bit more weird than most of us would like. So the player in this story is going through the motions of a regular match when he finds a box with the name Lucy on it. Opening it, he finds a rusty key and a diary. He reads the diary. It's about a 10-year-old girl named Lucy who, in the first entry, writes that it's her birthday, and that she's excited that her father took the day off work to spend it with her. She also notes that her mother recently passed away. The player decides to keep reading in hopes of figuring out what the key is for. The girl continues to write about how her father grows increasingly distant, and how she was forbidden to go down to his laboratory. The last entry in the journal reads that she is going to go down into the lab with her teddy bear. The player starts to look around the house and finds a cellar door in the backyard. The key opens it. The player then notices a burlap bag on the ground with a locket that reads "Best Mom Ever." There's also a big torn up teddy bear. The player continues to search the cellar, going through another door which has claw marks along the side of the wall. The player then finds a skeleton with a pistol next to it, and a camcorder. The camcorder turns on and starts to play. It's the dad panicking about the mother hearing animalistic noises in the background. The player begins to leave the cellar when he notices that the teddy bear that was there when he entered is now gone. So spooky. And at number 7, Last One Standing. This one tells of a kid named Bill whose parents left for the night. The babysitter hadn't shown up yet, so he went to his room to play some Fortnite. He starts a match and everyone on his team had the Dark Knight skin on. All of a sudden, the lights in his house shut off. Bill goes to find a flashlight, but a notification pops up on his screen from an anonymous user that reads, "Why'd you do that?" Bill was confused. He goes downstairs and locks the front door, but then he hears a knock. He opens the door and no one is there, except there's a letter. He reads it and the words on it repeat, "Don't lock, don't look," over and over again. But the very last word on the letter says, "Hide." Bill freaks out and hides under his bed. That's when he feels air on the back of his neck. He rolls over and sees a bunch of pairs of red eyes behind him. Bill then disappeared from that day onwards and his parents never found his body. And at number 6, The Empty Lobby. From YouTuber Big Mama Eternal, this creepypasta is about a girl named Eternal, who was a stripper. She liked to use the Battlehound skin, and thought of it as a lucky charm. She would often get a solid amount of kills when playing with it. There's also a mention of gonorrhea in this story, but we'll just just kind of skip over that part. Anyway, the skin started taking a life of its own and wanted all of the strippers' attention. And one night, when she returned home at 4 AM and booted up the game, the lobby was entirely empty. Her character wasn't there. Thinking it was a glitch, she restarted her system and the game. But the lobby was still empty. So she started the game anyway, and her character wasn't there. Just a view of the pregame lobby and other players in the game. So she shut it off again, decided to play again in the morning. But in the morning, the game kept crashing. In her headset, she could only hear growling. The next day after work, she got home and put on her headset. The growling continued. But it wasn't just coming out of her headset this time. It was in her room. She opened her closet and there was the battle hound. 2 days later, she was found dead in her apartment. And at number 5, supply llamas. This one is about a player who finds a llama in the game. Immediately after, he gets a message from a user named Skullkiller369 asking if he wants to get more supply llamas. But there's a catch. The player must agree to give Skullkiller his soul as a trade. The player obviously doesn't take him seriously, so he agrees. Skullkiller369 then tells him in order to do so, he can never turn off the game. The player says yeah, sure. From then on out, the player starts finding supply llamas in every match. During one game, he and his friend decide to reset their match, and the player restarts the game on his system. He turns the system back on and he's already in a new match. He then finds a different kind of llama, a red and black one instead of the purple and blue one. He opens it and there's no supplies, but there is a note. He reads the note and it says, "I told you and you don't listen." The player freaked out turns the system off for the night. The next day he finds more llamas, 3 of them, all with the same note. The player then goes to find his dad to show him how well he's doing, and then his dad looks at him and asks, "What are you doing in my house?" He doesn't recognize the player at all. The long and short of this story, well, everyone knew that he was good at the game, but his family didn't know who he was afterwards. Yeah, we didn't say all these were perfect horror stories, now did we? And at number 4, Red Team Leader. Another creepypasta from FlipLaScript. This one is about a player who buys the Cuddle Team Leader skin from the Fortnite shop, seeing that the skin was only available for an hour and on sale. But when he uses the skin, the color isn't pink. It's blood red in the pregame lobby. He thinks it's a glitch. The match starts and the skin is back to its regular pink. But after the player starts to kill people, the skin starts to turn red. Faintly, but it's there. The more players he kills, the darker the red becomes. Eventually, he's one of the last 10 people in the match. After a solid firefight, he's one of the last 2, and goes after his remaining opponent. But as he takes him out, the player goes down, which is weird since it's a solo match. He shoots the player again. Nothing happens, the player's just down. That's when his controller in real life starts to move. His avatar also starts to move on the screen. The avatar takes out an axe called the chopping block and begins to chop off the enemy's head, decapitating him. The Cuddle Team Leader avatar removes his mask, revealing its head. One eye shot out of its head and slits on its face, forcing a smile. Then the game ends. Up next at 3, The Storm. The Storm tells the story of a terrifying storm experience during a solo match. The player in this one is going about their business, taking out foes when they realize that the storm is about to close in on them. Except it's no regular storm. This one is red, with mist. So the player runs heading towards the safe zone but can't quite get there. He gets caught in it. As he keeps navigating his way towards the safe zone, still hopeful, images start appearing in the storm. Horrific ones. Ones that shouldn't be in the game. His body in real life starts to itch. He starts to feel actual pain. So he decides to keep running in the game, heading towards what he thinks is a launch pad. His character's health gets to 30. His body in real life begins to break out into hives. As he gets to the launch pad and flies off, his health is at 20. His vision starts to get weird. Then his health falls to 10. And the player starts to lose feeling in his body. This is when he breaks out into the safe zone and all of his symptoms disappear in real life. So, of course, he quits the game and hasn't played Fortnite since. And at number 2, We Eliminated You. In this creepypasta posted and beautifully drawn by Jordan Persegatti, we get the tale of We Eliminated You, one of the more popular Fortnite creepypastas that have made the rounds on the interwebs, initially created by 34 Matthews HD. Anyway, it's the story of a kid who hops on Fortnite after school one day when his mother hasn't gotten home yet. Everyone in the pregame lobby is wearing the Cuddle Team Leader skin. Noticing a creepy theme. Once he gets into the match, he realizes that everyone's username is We Eliminated You, which is weird because you can't have the same name as everyone else on the PlayStation Network. So he assumes that the server was filled with hackers. He ends up making it into the top 3 and watched the last remaining 2 players duke it out, waiting for the victor to surface so he could just take them out with a shotgun. As he was waiting, he notices that there's a structure built nearby. It reads, We Eliminated You. Freaked him out, but he still ignored it. Eventually, the 2 Cuddle Team leaders who were duking it out are finished, leaving one remaining foe. The player popped out of his hiding spot and shot him in the head. But it didn't faze his opponent, so he shoots him again. Nothing happens. The player assumed it was a hacker. Eventually the hacker shot him and knocked the player out of the match. Frustrated, he turned off his PS4 annoyed. He decided to go get some fresh air, but before he leaves his house he gets a text. It's from a number he didn't recognize, and it read, Get ready for your final elimination. But what was worse was the photo attached to the text, an image of the player's house. The player panics and locks himself in his bedroom. He calls the police and while waiting he looks out the window, where he spots a mysterious figure watching him. him, and they're wearing the Cuddle Team leader mask. He hides in his closet as he hears the mysterious figure come through his back door. As he's hiding, his phone goes off and makes a noise. He panics, thinking that his cover's blown, and looks at the phone. He sees that he's gotten a text from that same number saying, "I know you're in there." And last but not least, and at number 1, The Whisperer, which is kind of a similar story to the last one we just did. This one tells the story of a boy named Timmy whose parents go out of town to visit his sick aunt. Home alone, he messages his pal Mark, his neighbor, to come over and play Fortnite. But Mark wasn't around, so he hopped on the PlayStation communities to find a partner. He finds a post by a user named BattleBus524 who wrote him, "I'm the best Fortnite player of all time. I can carry you. Mike needed." Not being overly great at the game, this piques Timmy's curiosity. But he was a bit concerned since the player spelled Fortnite as Fortnite, N-I-G-H-T. He reaches out anyway, and the guy's name is Drew, a 31-year-old dude who lives fairly close to where Timmy lives. They start playing together, and Drew gets killed immediately. Timmy jokes about it, and Drew got really aggressive with him. The more that they played together, Drew started blowing things up recklessly and compromising their matches, and getting killed off really quickly. Drew would whisper to Timmy in his headset, "Behind you," even though no one was behind Timmy. So eventually Timmy got annoyed, made up an excuse to leave Drew, and blocked him. He then started going on solos. A few minutes later, a random user sends him a voice message. Timmy opens it, and the voice says, "You shouldn't have done that. I recommend you don't block me again." A little bit freaked out, Timmy decides to ignore it. 20 minutes later, Drew sends him another message. This time it wasn't a voice message, it was a photo of Timmy's house. A second later, another message pops up from Drew. "Check your front door." Timmy, freaking out, goes to his front door. No one's there. He opens it and looks down though, and there's a nutcracker there with a note attached to it. The note reads, "It reminds me of you." It was Timmy's favorite skin to use in the game. Timmy calls the cops and messages his friend Mark, who tells him that he was right to message him. He saw a guy in the bushes out front of Timmy's house. Timmy goes to hide in his parents' closet, when he remembers that he didn't lock the back door. That's when he hears the door creak open. Timmy panics and keeps texting Mark, who tells him to be quiet and not make a sound. He hears someone moving around the house, whispering, "I just want to play games." 10 minutes go by, and Mark starts to worry that he hasn't gotten a response from Timmy for all of his last messages. Finally, he does get a message from Timmy though, and Timmy says that one of their neighbors knocked the guy out. Mark asks if Timmy wants to come over and spend the night at his house to feel safer. The response he gets back reads, "Come over. I want to play Fortnite." In other words, Timmy's dead, Mark. Alright, there we have it, friends. Well, most of those were pretty stupid. Which of these creepypastas do you think might actually be true though? Or do you think they're all just full of it? Probably yeah. Give us a shout about your thoughts in those comments below. Now if you dug this video, hit that like button, and make sure you click on subscribe if you want to hang out with us some more. We've got a ton of other videos on Fortnite and gaming in general on our channel, so be sure to give that playlist on your screen right now a click. In the meantime, thanks for watching everybody, I'll catch you all in the next video.